The French election, the first round of presidential voting, is coming up on April the 23rd and could have a significant impact on trading to start the new week. There's four main candidates running relatively close to each other that are vying for two spots in the second runoff round. Of these, they're kind of split into two camps based on their feelings and policies related to the European Union and to the euro. In one camp from the far right, we have Marine Le Pen, who wants to take France out of the eurozone. Then we also have from the far left, we have Mélenchon, who wants to renegotiate France's position within the EU. On the other side, we have the centrist candidate Macron, as well as Fillon, who are both more favors of the status quo and kind of continuing France's place within Europe. Depending on what happens, if Le Pen and Mélenchon both go through, or if one of them goes through, we could see some significant turmoil in the markets as people start political risk ramps up. On the other hand, if Macron and Fillon go through, then we would see an easing of political risk within Europe. It would be seen as a support for the status quo, and so you could see some of the political tensions ease there. If you get one from each camp, then we'd be looking for poll results to see who does the street think could make it through the second round of voting and actually become Président de France going forward. So, and of course, beyond that, then they also have parliamentary elections, which then can, as we've seen in the U.S., can have an impact on how much the president can actually do. But on the interim, the French election does have the potential to have significant impact on three markets. We'll start with the French index, and what we've been seeing here is that it's been under pretty nice accumulation actually right through the last year. It's leveled off here in April with this muddy election campaign where it's unclear as to who's going to come out on top or even who's going to end up in the second round. However, we do have the CAC holding above 5,000 round number, but it is encountering resistance up here around 5150. Its underlying uptrend remains intact, but at the same time, we've been seeing weakness on the RSI, shifting back to neutral and possibly a downturn. If we did get a breakout, your next measured move up would be around 5,300. On a breakdown below 5,000, first support would be here around 49.45, a Fibonacci level, and then down around 48.55, another Fibonacci test. France's future within the Eurozone and the EU also could have a significant impact on trading in the euro. Generally speaking, when we had the big U.S. dollar rally late last year, pushed the euro lower. But since then, really since the beginning of 2017, we've seen the euro kind of range bound going back and forth in a sideways range. It's pretty broad between about 105 and about 108.50. Recent trading, we've seen a swing up off of 105.80, and it's run into resistance here around 107.20 and starting to roll over once again. RSI is bouncing back and forth between 40 and 60, confirming a sideways trend and more recently indicating that a downswing is pending. So, what have we got in the euro? A win by the pro-euro camp or leading by the pro-euro camp could boost the euro. However, if we see Le Pen or Mélenchon or both do really, really well, that could really undermine the euro and throw a monkey wrench into the whole system. So, with definitely, this is a market that's likely to be really in focus when we coming into the start of next week. Another one to watch here is gold. We had seen gold get hammered at the end of the year when the U.S. dollar rallied. It's been steadily trending upwards since the beginning of the year. We've seen quite a bit of political uncertainty increase in recent weeks, and that's been pushing gold back upward. On top of the French election, we also have the situation in North Korea with U.S. carriers heading towards the area. We have more political risks within the United States related to tax reform, related to healthcare reform, certainly related to trade with saber rattling and potential for trade disputes with Canada on top of China and Mexico and other countries. Also, then we have this French result where if we do see the Eurosceptics win, Le Pen or Mélenchon could be seen as bullish for gold because they would increase political risk. Macron or Fillon would be seen as bearish for gold most likely, as they would reduce political risk and because they're more on the forces of stability. What have we seen in gold? Generally speaking, for the last week, we're just kind of hanging around 1280, digesting this big rally up off of 1200 in the 1275 to 1300 area. Interesting thing for gold, We are seeing the 50 days start to approach the 200-day. That's a golden cross pending there in gold. We saw gold get overbought recently. It's leveled off just below the 70 level, which tells us that it's basically looking like a pause within an uptrend, working off an overbought RSI. This is typical within this longer term step pattern we're seeing of rally, consolidation, rally, and another round of consolidation for gold. So, depending on what happens with the French election results, we could see several markets stage big swings near the beginning of next week.